Hello everyone, welcome to yourfaculty.com. Today we're going to deal with problems on partnerships. Okay, let's try to understand the basis of partnership. Typically in all these problems that you come across in any competitive exams, the underlying concept that you need to understand is the ratio of profit for all these partnership problem is basically divided based on it's basically finally divided at the end of the year or at the end of that particular business in the ratio of their investments. Okay, so in what ratio they invest, they reap the profit accordingly. And this investment is also time bound. So let's say I stay invested for X number of months, whereas my partner stayed for one full year. The sense, let's say I stayed for 6 months and the partner stayed for 1 year, I will be getting only a partial amount. We will show the calculation how it works, but I will not be getting the full amount, right? There is again a time bound ratio that will come into account because I stayed invested only for 6 months. So just to explain again, the ratio of profit in particular partnership deal is basically a function of your investment and time. Okay, so I think you'll be able to understand or appreciate this in a much better way once we start looking at some of these problems. What I will do is we'll quickly go through all these questions that I have here, and I think at the end of it you would have understood in and out of partnerships. Okay, starting with first question. P and Q started a business investing 85,000 and 15,000. Please note they didn't invest same amount. They are investing different amount. So the profit that they earn should also be different. And how different it should be? It should be in the ratio of their investment, provided they remain invested for the complete tenure. And what are they saying? In what ratio the profit earned after 2 years be divided between P and Q. So here the time is a constant. Why? Because P and Q have remained invested for a period of 2 years. So there's no change in the tenure between P and Q. So what are we left with? We just need to understand if the invested amount are different. Yes, the invested amount are different. So how different are they? We just need to apply ratio here. So if we need to understand the ratio of ratio of amount invested by P and Q, P is to Q is equal to what? 85,000 is to 15,000, right? So they have invested in the ratio of 85 is to 15. So what is that? 85 is to 15 is, if you divide by 5, it is 17 is to 3. And okay, so we don't have any option over here. It is 17 is to 3. So I hope you understood what I'm trying to explain here. I think you will get better idea once we move on to other questions. Okay. Kamal started a business investing $9,000. After 5 months, see, this is the keyword here. After 5 months, Samir joined with a capital of 8,000. If at the end of the year, and year means 12 months, so you have to take into consideration 12 months of overall thing, they earn a profit of 6,970. Then what will be the share of Samir in the profit? Great. So this question takes into account both the investment and the tenure. Now, if I have to write the whole thing into a ratio format, Kamal is to Samir. If I had to write like this, okay, I'll just put it like this. We'll put ratios later on. How much did Kamal invest? Kamal invested 9,000. And how much did Samir invest? Samir invested 8,000. How long was Kamal in the business? 12 months, because he is the one who started it. How long was Samir in the business? Just for 7 months. So what do we see here? The ratio of the investment is actually in the form of, am I right? So 9,000 into 12 by 8,000 into 7. So whatever profit you get at the end of the year has to be in this ratio, right? So what do we do? If you cancel all this, you're left with this value. And of course, so you have 1 over here, which means you are with 27 is to 14. What is Samir's share now? Samir's share is, see, you see a profit of 6790. Sorry, 6970, right? And what is Samir's share? The ratio is 27 is to 14, right? So if it is 27 is to 14, you have to multiply by 14. And what is the total share? And how do you arrive at that? It is 41. You just need to put 27 plus 14, 41. So this is how you calculate it finally, because 14 out of 41 is actually Samir's share. And what is Kamal's share? 27 out of 41 is Kamal's share. The question is asking, in the question they are asking for Samir's share, and hence the answer is 2380. Here is your answer. Okay. Simran started a software business by investing 50,000. After 6 months, Nanda joined her with a capital of 80,000. After 3 years, they earned a profit of 24,500. What is Simran's share in the profit? So this is after 3 years. So please note the tenure is 3 years here. And if I had write Simran here, try to apply in the same style that I am doing. It will be easy for you, I believe. So Simran and Nanda. So Simran 50,000, right? And Nanda 80,000, right? And after 6 months, Nanda joined. So Simran was there for 3 years. 12 threes are 36 months. Whereas Nanda joined after 6 months. So which means she is short by 6 months. So 30 months. So this is basically the ratio that you need to take into consideration. So if you now put this in the form of equation, in the form of fraction, so what happens? You cancel this out. You are now left with 6 and you cancel this out. The answer is 3 is to 4, right? You cancel this out. So what happens? What is Simran's share now? Simran's share is equal to 24,500 into 3 by 3 plus 4, 7, which is equal to 10,500. I hope you are able to understand this. Simran's share is 3 out of 7 parts. So 3 by 7, because the ratio is 3 is to 4. And we know that the profit is 24,500 and hence Simran's share is 10,500. Okay. Now, the next question is Arun, Kamal and Vinay invested 8,000, 4,000 and 8,000 respectively in business. Arun left after 6 months. If after 8 months there was a gain of 4,005, then what will be the share of Kamal? Right? Okay. So how do we first apply this? We write in our usual style Arun, Kamal and Vinay. Right? And what are the things that they are saying? Arun had invested 8,000, Kamal 4,000 and Vinay 8,000. Arun left after 6 months. If after 8 months there was a gain of 4,005. So here the total tenure is how much? 8 months. So Arun left after 6 months. So his tenure is 6, Kamal is 8 and Vinay is 8. That's it. So we just need to apply ratio over here. If you don't want to write again, you just need to cancel out all this, right? So what else? You have 8 common across. You can cancel this out. You are left with 6 is to 4 is to 8. So which is what? 3 is to 2 is to 4. Now what is the question? What is Kamal's share? Kamal's share is what? Kamal's share is 2 by 9. How did I arrive at that? 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. So that's the base for you. And we know Kamal is this part, right? Kamal is the second entity that we are taking into account. So 2 by 9 into 4005. And what is the answer? You get 890. Okay, moving on to the next question. A, B, and C rent a pasture. A puts 10 oxen for 7 months, B puts 12 oxen for 5 months, and C puts 15 oxen for 3 months for grazing. The rent of the pasture is 175. How much must C pay as a share of rent? Okay. So here there are two things here. One is there's a pasture, and each of A, B, or C have certain number of oxen, and they are using it for certain number of months. So in such questions, unless there is an agreement here, unless it is mentioned, you just need to take into account that 10 each oxen and each month is a value that you need to take into consideration. So in that case, if you are writing A, B, and C, how many oxen A has? 10. B has 12. C has 15. And how many months is A using it for? 7. This one 12. And C for 3 months. So what happens now? Pretty simple, right? You just need to cancel out whatever you think is not applicable, and then you just need to apply it. Sorry, this is 5 months. 12 oxen for 5 months and 15 oxen for 3 months. So what are we left with now? We are left with anywhere you can quickly cancel out. Yes, this is 3, this is 2. So the ratio is 14 is to 12 is to 9, right? And how much must C pay as his share of rent? Now we know that the total amount paid is 175. So C's share is equal to 175 into, this is the component, right? And what is the total number of units that we need to take into consideration? 14 plus 12 plus 9. I think by now you would have understood why we are doing all this. 14 plus 12 plus 9. Basically, that's the total number of units, and we are just taking 9 parts out of those units. So C share is 175 into 9 by, this is how much? 26 plus 9, 35. So you get the answer as 45. If X and Y invested in a business, they earn some profit which they divided in the ratio of 2:3. If X invested 40,000, the amount invested by Y is, this is now vice versa. Very simple, right? So all that you have to do is 40,000 by the amount invested by Y is equal to 2 by 3. Simple, right? So you get Y is equal to 60,000. A started a business with 21,000 and is joined afterwards by B with 36,000. After how many months did B join if the profits at the end of the year are divided equally? Again, a very simple question. We know that 21,000 and how many months did is joined at the end of the year. So it's basically 12 months, right? So they are saying at the end of the year. So A is been there in the business for 12 months. And B 36,000 into X. We'll keep it as X. And we know that the profits are 1 by 1. So what happens? 21,000 into 12 is equal to 36,000 into X. We cancel this out. We cancel this out. and we get x is equal to 7. When x is equal to 7, it means B was invested for a period of 7 years. Now the question is, after how many months did B join? If the total months were 12 and B was invested for 7 months, so after how many months did he join? He joined after 5 months, right? So if you are really confused, you can always do it as 12 minus x, where x is the months after which he joined. So to keep it simple, we know that for 7 months B was invested for, was there as part of investment. So the remaining months is when after which he joined. So 5 is the answer. 5 months. Okay, thanks for watching the video. You can always subscribe to your faculty channel on YouTube and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Follow us on Twitter. You can send us an email at info@urfaculty.com. Thank you. See you soon.